All right, so welcome to this special episode of One More Strongcast with Godzilla. I'm back this week. So technically this is my first two-time guest, but we're not. The show's not going to be about him. The show's going to be about his show. So Josh Henderson is joining us, and we're going to talk about Battle on the Bridge.
Yeah, man, thank you. Appreciate it. Glad to be back too. First ever recurring guest.
Yeah. So I'm not. The show's not about you though. It's about your show. So I don't want to give you that much credit yet. So,
oh man, thanks for having me on again, dude.
Yeah, no problem. So I'm excited because one, it's a fun local show. It looks like a great show, but two, I'm competing in it, so that probably makes you excited.
Right.
It's funny. The last time I competed was the show that you judged. It was PA Strongest Man back in 2020. So it's been a while since I've competed. So I was excited to make my comeback show kind of like your show.
Yeah, that feels like forever ago too. PA Strongest Man.
I know.
Literally, it feels like it was 10 years ago.
I know it's crazy how fucking how time flies. I mean, the shit with you because you didn't have your gym open yet. You were still.
We had it, but we hadn't announced anything yet.
Okay.
So that week actually of PA Strongest Man that year, we were signing the lease that week.
Okay.
So when I got back from PA Strongest, we signed the lease that week. So. Yeah, man, it's been a journey since then.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was a little skeptical because I didn't know you real well back then. Opening a gym in the basement of a Legion, and it felt like the basement of a Legion, like it should be bingo going on Thursday nights. Just to see how far it's come, how far you've come in your group. It's pretty amazing to feel like I'm part of that family a little bit. So congratulations on all that though.
Yeah, man, we're glad to have you too. It's crazy how much just like strongman in general has just grown in the area, like with 580 barbell. So we have a pretty big crew now. So
yeah, it's definitely. I know it was your dream to open a gym and that kind of stuff, and just be like established in the area with all the other local gyms and the competitions and the notoriety through the podcast, through the supplements, through the clothing and stuff like that. Like it's like you said, it's more than just a local gym now. It's getting to be like a whole phenomenon.
Yeah, that's the goal. I'm excited to see where it's at in a couple of years. That's definitely cool.
Yeah, I mean, just the way the sport's growing now, just with all the stuff going on. I mean, there's definitely a lot of opportunities to grow your brand through your athletes, through the supplements, just through everything that you're doing. I mean, the podcast stuff is just it's funny. You started yours around the same time as mine, and you haven't taken breaks.
Ours was first. You have to tell everyone listening. Ours was a week before.
It's crazy. We started about the same time, and yours when you first started, it was just the 3 or 4 of you sitting around the reverse hyper bullshit, and now it's grown into a pretty popular podcast.
It's basically still 4 or 5 of us sitting around a reverse hyper bullshit.
Yeah, but
we just have people on every once in a while.
Yeah, I mean those are my favorite. I like when you have guests on because you have really good guests on and you have really good topics. But then sometimes it's just fun to hear you guys go off topic and just bullshit about stupid shit. So
yeah, it's nice. Like we have a nice balance now. I think we've kind of found our stride. Like it's funny because we'll always just be like we're a niche podcast within a niche industry. Like Strongman is already niche enough. And then we named our podcast like the 580 show. Like we didn't name it like, like the Strongman like podcast. We named it. So it's very niche. So there's some episodes you'll tune in. I'm just calling my best friend Riley fat. Yeah. And then some episodes we have on like Anthony Furman. So we always keep the people guessing, but it's fun that way.
Yeah, I like it because like it's so different than mine, and it's so different from some of the other ones that I listen to that are more interview based or more two people back and forth talking about just topics and current events. So yours does a little bit of everything. So it's fun too. I mean, I don't know how people that don't know you or know the gang or know the area, like I'm sure they lose a lot of the stuff that you guys talk about.
Sure.
But
yeah,
then
it's weird because like I'll have people like someone from like Iowa DM me and like, hey, I enjoyed the podcast this week. And it's like it's so weird that you remember that people outside of like the gym and like your close friends and people are listening. So that it's always surreal. But yeah, we bullshit a lot. I like listening to podcasts like yours, like when I want to like when you had Kevin Ferris on, like I really like that because it's like I do what I want with my podcast, but then sometimes like I want my strongman dork side to be like fulfilled, and you and some other podcasts do that. But we kind of we are different in that aspect.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes them all better because then you're listening, you're feeding off each other, and you're cross referencing, and like there's a few that I work with that I really enjoy some of theirs. and we go like a lot of times too. It's funny when they have a guest, I'll listen and I'll get questions from their podcast. Like, okay, let me see what's going on, and I'll feed off of something else. So it's just, I don't know. I enjoy it. Yours has been going, I usually go like 70, 75 episodes or something like that.
75 episodes. This week I'm going to film one just talking to just the competitors of the show, just to like, it's going to be like 8 to 10 minutes is the goal, and just like, hey, this is where you're going to go for weigh-ins, this is where you're going to park, this is what you're going to be able to eat, this is where literally start to finish, it's going to have the heats, what order of events, everything like that. So
yeah, that's a great outlet. I really love what you did on YouTube. And I mean, I did the same thing for my show. So like, I feel like maybe you were biting off me, but it's such
I remember when you did that for your show. It's like, it's stupid. If you see an idea in strongman and if you think it's a good idea, it's stupid to not take it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care who made it, but if I'm a competitor at my show, I want a video of someone showing me how it's going to be set up exactly at the show. Like, that's a huge advantage for me.
Yeah, it's so great to show the hands-on. Here's the event. Here's what we're looking for. Here's what the judge is looking for. Here's how it's going to go. And then the questions right there, and people can go through, like I said, and just read the comments. So a question you might have might already have been asked and answered. So it's just another outlet that makes it. I actually got that. I think USS Nationals. I think it was Tim and Sue when they ran. I think they did that.
It's an amazing idea. I like it. There's a difference, I think, between reading something on Iron Podium or on an event page versus actually seeing it and hearing it. And one thing I'll say as a promoter now, I underestimated the amount, running a bigger show, the amount of questions, DMs, calls, texts that you receive. I've actually received 2 texts since we've been sitting on this podcast. But people, doesn't matter how many times or how bold or how capitalized you put it on Iron Podium, people are going to ask again. So
yeah,
have questions.
Yeah, I mean, that's like you said, that's just part of it. You talk to anybody that runs shows, like no matter what you do to try to put the rules out there, try to put the stuff out there, people are still going to ask stupid questions. And you're going to get stupid questions up until the end of the day on that Saturday. So
yeah, hey man, it's all right. I signed up for it. So
exactly. So let's start. So Battle of the Bridge. I never asked you this. Like, so why the name Battle of the Bridge? I mean,
so for Pittsburgh, we're in the greater Pittsburgh area. We're the city of bridges. But that's actually not the reason, which is why a lot of people think. So I'm born and raised in Beaver County. Want to run strongman shows in Beaver County for a long time. I think we're in a good area. We have like Ohio people, West Virginia people, and then obviously our PA people we can pull from. The show was originally in Bridgewater, Pennsylvania, which is like within Beaver.
Yeah.
And where the venue was you could actually see 2 of the bridges on our river where the Beaver and the Ohio River meet. That's where our show's at still. That venue, unfortunately, like pretty late in the game, kind of threw a curveball at me, and we basically couldn't do our show there. So we just moved it across the river to our gym and the Legion, basically have the full block for the day. You got to kind of use your imagination a little bit. Can't see the exact bridge anymore, but we're actually closer to the bridge and the river than we were originally. But yeah, it's just, we're right on the river where the Ohio and the Beaver River meet, and it was in Bridgewater, so battle at the bridge.
Yeah.
You know, so that's kind of how nothing crazy, but that's kind of how it came about.
Yeah, I'm really, and I've told you before, I'm really disappointed that the venue had to change because I don't like shows that are in gyms or in parking lots. Like I think making it a spectacle. I think the way you were going to do it would have been nice because it had been outside. You would have had, a little more foot traffic. You would have had stuff going on. It was tied into the local area.
I think now though, I think where I'll say, I think we'll be able to have more people because it's outside. So the show is half outside and half inside. So it allows to be spread out a little bit more. We have 350 more parking spots available to us now at our venue for our competition day than we did at our last one. And we got approved for a 1-day liquor license through the township. So outside can still be like a party and inside there'll be a full bar. There's a full restaurant because our landlords, if you've never seen 580 Barbell, which I'm sure a lot of you guys haven't, upstairs is the Monaca American Legion. So it's a veterans club. They have a full remodeled commercial kitchen. So it'll be nice. They'll be able to serve food on location too. But yeah, I wanted the venue too, but I'm super thankful for the spot we got now.
No, it's definitely going to work because for one thing, it's now you control everything. Like I said, there's not going to be no curveballs because this is your home base. So there's not going to be no unforeseen stuff that might pop up, day of. So it'll be very controlled. I know you're going to do a good job on the show because we've talked about how it's all going to work.
My lower back is thankful too, because I'm not having to move like 3,000 pounds of sandbags and yokes and all these plates and the Hercules holds. I'm really happy that it's on site now.
Well, that's the one thing I wanted to talk to you about is like when you pick the events. So I've been preaching this for 2 years. You got to look at the show from from the promoter standpoint, from the athlete standpoint, and from the spectator standpoint.
Sure.
So from the promoter thing, like you said, it's set up. If we're going on location, now you have to get a trailer or a U-Haul, and your gym's in the basement. So I don't know who's going to carry all them sandbags up the steps, all the yoke. So when you're looking from that standpoint, it makes sense to have it. Hey, all the shit's already here. I don't have to move it. From an athlete, and you've competed. It doesn't really matter where the show is as an athlete because you're focused in. You're focused in. You just want fun events that are going to move fast. So my thing for your show is like maybe from the spectator aspect, where it would have been cool to have been outside open. Now it's in the gym, and I'm going to be interested to see how it works bringing people in and out because, like you said, halves in, halves out. How it's all going to flow for people trying to watch what events and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think myself and the people like that are helping me run it, we put a lot of like so much time and effort into logistics. Our neighbors are like a huge manufacturing facility, and they donated their entire parking lot for the day of the event. So it's 400 parking spots that they're giving us for the day, and it's directly next door to the gym. So you don't have to cross the street, just walk about 50 feet down the sidewalk and you're at the venue. Our landlords have a like 50 by 100, a really large banquet hall upstairs. So the award ceremony will be in the banquet hall. The athletes will keep their stuff in the banquet hall throughout the day, so we won't have that clutter within the gym and outside. Athletes will still be able to bring a tent and set up shop outside in the parking lot. And now this is all hoping for good weather. We're talking about it being a good weather day. If it's a bad weather day, it's going to be a little more crammed and we're all going to get to know each other a little bit better. But we're good regardless. But yeah, I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I think it's going to go well. I like the idea of having the separate athlete area. That's the thing that so many shows don't focus on. So like you said, they're cluttered. They're in the gym. They're trying to get up on this corner. They're trying to buy a fan when it's hot out or tents. And, so this way, like, hey, you're all centered here. Someone's going to be here watching you here. You don't have to worry about no one stealing shit. It's not going to be set up outside in the parking lot. So it should go definitely well.
I think, I think that's like art. If you have seen the gym, it doesn't look as big as it is. Our gym is 7,000 square foot. So it's a pretty large gym. And that's just the gym portion. And now that 7,000 square foot, we see it every day with all the equipment in it, with the turf, with 20 machines, with the squat racks, with everything that's in there. All that will be, every single thing in the gym will be pushed into one corner of the gym. So it'll literally be a wide open, like 6,000 square foot. So I think that'll help us out too. But yeah, having the athlete stuff in a separate area that's not the competition, I think helps free a lot of clutter because that's a mess.
Yeah, it's definitely a pain in the ass sometimes. So, I mean, I think it's going to go good. I mean, I was a little apprehensive at first, but I just don't know how. Are you going to have like the athletes use the back steps to go upstairs, and like the spectators could like go in through the front door? Then, so like it's not.
So you might have never been there when there's an event, but the banquet hall doors open.
Okay.
And they're like a big double door, and they lead down to our gym.
Yeah.
So we'll have actually the banquet hall you can go in through, and you can order food in the banquet hall as well, right at the kitchen. And then that leads to downstairs, and then also our gym door will be open too. So there'll be a couple ways in and out. The bathroom downstairs in our gym will be just for males for the day, and then there's a really nice bathroom upstairs for females in the banquet hall.
Okay, I know that was a question April was having, and I thought you said something before one of your podcasts about maybe having like porta johns outside or something also. And
yeah, we have 3 bathrooms available, so I think and the bathrooms have plenty of stalls. So yeah, our gym's bathroom is unisex, so we're very progressive in that way.
Yeah.
So, but
it's just a binary bathroom. That's all.
yeah. So, but for the day, ladies will have their own nice bathroom upstairs. So
Yeah, I like that. So
it's awesome. Everything's coming together.
yeah, I'm excited. So real quick, so let's just talk about the date and the time and how long you think it's going to run.
So 9 a.m. We want athletes there by, just so if you haven't weighed in yet, everyone's got to weigh in. I know you're a big boy too, but just got to weigh in that 8 to 9 hour. I don't care if it's
I'll text you.
And so athletes that haven't weighed in the day of or the day before will weigh in the day of. We're gonna do rules a little bit after 9 o'clock. We'll have everything set up. We'll do event 1 that'll start around 10. I really expect everything to be done for the day before 3 p.m.
Okay.
So about a 10 a.m. start. Everyone is going to start on axle, so that's going to be the only event that is all going on at one time. So max axle, everyone will be assigned to their platform. The platform will have its number on it, and you'll go to that platform. You'll do your last man standing axle, and then we'll break off into our groups for Group A and Group B. There'll be an event going on outside while there's a group going on inside. Groups inside are axle, then that's what everyone's doing, and then yoke and sandbag over yoke, and then outside is the frame deadlift and the Hercules hold.
Okay.
So yeah, before 3 p.m. I think is very feasible, and that's with 110 people doing the show.
Yeah, that's what I've been telling people. Should be done by 3 o'clock. So just real quick, I didn't mention today, but it's Saturday, June 4th, right?
Yeah, Saturday, June 4th. Sorry if I missed that on the thing. Saturday, June 4th. At the 600 Pennsylvania Avenue, there's a big sign out front, and it'll say Battle at the Bridge, Strongman Competition. It'll say it for the day. Yeah, there's a lot of awesome stuff. I'm sure we'll touch on it, but yeah, there's a lot of awesome stuff. I would be really shocked if it goes past 3 p.m. Also, what I want to say too, after the awards, everyone's more than welcome to hang out. I'd love to have it as like a little hangout party. I know there's a lot of people coming from out of town that might be staying for the night. I'm sure 50+% want to leave, want to get home. I get that. But your guys are more than welcome to stick around. There'll be food all day and night, drinks all day and night. Feel free to stay around after the show.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the things I like to. I mean, we stay around. It's funny. Sometimes you're like an after party, or there's stuff going on. Like you said, if you want to leave afterwards because you're done, you didn't podium, you didn't win nothing, you're beat up, you want to leave. That's cool. I like when people stick around afterwards because you get more time to talk. Because I know when I first started, like I tried to bebop around and talk to everybody, and I've learned like I'm there to focus, concentrate, compete afterwards. So afterwards is where you make your friends, you bullshit, you make new friends. I don't want to make a new friend against some guy I'm competing before I compete. Like after I beat him, I'll shake his hand, and then we'll be friends afterwards. So
there's definitely a good mix. I've definitely fallen into the trap of being too friendly and too like not focused enough on the actual competition because I'm in a class with a bunch of guys I like. But yeah, it's like a huge like marketing, like networking event with people that you see on Instagram all the time, but have never got to actually meet. So it's fun to just hang out for a while after the competition and bullshit. So that's kind of the goal, you know?
Yeah, I know I'll be hanging out because, so let's talk a little bit about we talked about like food and vendors and stuff, but you're going to have some sponsors. So yeah, two of my sponsors are going to be there. So I'm definitely going to worry about like staying and hanging out and bullshit and partying a little with them guys. So who do you have coming up as far as, setting up like as far as vendors or sponsors? I mean, obviously I get the thick shirt on. So if you want to start,
our boys from Hossware will be there, and man, they just I'll show you. Awesome. I'll show you after we get done recording. But they just sent me the mock-ups of the shirts.
Oh, nice.
And, they're awesome. They do such a good job. They use such a high quality material for the shirts. So that's one thing I hate when I go to a shirt and it feels like I put like a carpet on. You know, like you got like a 10-ply Gildan shirt on when you're competing. But yeah, Hossware will be there with a booth. Zula, you've been sponsored from them for a long time, so you kind of know probably the most about Hossware. Frawley's been buddies with them for a long time, so I think we get kind of the hometown discount with shirts for them because you guys are boys with them. And I'm looking forward to working with them a lot in the future. But they've got an apparel booth. We've got Impact mouth guards will be there, and they've got some prizes to give out to the competitors, which will be really cool. And then we'll have obviously all my own stuff. We'll have 580 will have its own booth there. It'll be a pretty big size. We'll have grip shirts if anyone didn't want to get grip shirts at weigh-ins and wants to decide they want one day up. We'll have our pre-workout. We'll have mixed berry and watermelon to sample and to buy. And we'll just have some other miscellaneous stuff. We'll have a 50-50 going on. But one thing I want to say about the sponsors, like the show wouldn't be possible without sponsors. And these people are giving up a Saturday. The Hopper guys are traveling like 8 hours to come. I don't know how far the Impact guys are traveling to come, but I'm sure it's far. And I didn't do a spectator fee for a couple of reasons. And the main reason being I want people to spend money with the sponsors. At some point in Strongman, if we want to continue to grow this sport, something I'm really big on is making it worth it for a sponsor, right? Someone reaches out to me to sponsor their strongman competition. And they say it's going to be $5,000 for me to come 10 hours away, get a hotel room, spend $5,000 for a booth. How does that make sense for me as a business? You know what I mean? I'm happy to help. I'm happy to put money into the sport, but at some point I am a human and I have to at least make somewhat business sense for me. So if you're coming, there's no fee at all to get in. You come and go, stay as much as you want all day, spend some money with the sponsors and help them out.
Yeah, I love that. And that's why I want to partner up with you and do something because you see it the same way I do. Like we're trying to grow the sport. And if you're asking a sponsor for money to put their name on the shirt and say, yeah, come set up on my show, but if they're not going to make no money. So like you have to like get people like, hey, and you have to have stuff to sell. I think that's one of the things where a lot of shows lack is there's people there, there's 100 athletes, you think everybody brings one or two people with them, usually spectate. So you're talking about, you might have 500 people in and out of your show through this day.
Yeah, I definitely think we will. I definitely think we will. Another sponsor that it's not really a booth where you go spend money, but someone I want to highlight. Did you ever see that watermelon commercial for horsepower? Like that 30-second clip we had?
Yeah.
So the people that made that super talented production group, they're called Valor Garrett Productions. They're actually, we'll have photographers on site. We'll have 2 photographers, and then we have a videographer as well. So the videographer will, after the show, is going to send me all the raw footage. So I'll have a lot of people's lifts. I won't have every person's lift because there'll be one group going outside, but they're making a 10-minute YouTube video of our show, like a highly edited, like basically like movie of the day.
Yeah.
So you guys, all the competitors will be able to go on and probably see like 1, maybe 2, 3 of their lifts, like in a nice, like high action packed, highly edited. It's not like a jerry rigged up, cheap YouTube video. It's going to be like a very high quality video. So that's another cool thing.
Yeah, that's something I didn't have written on my list to talk about, but I love that aspect. Like I tried to have a photographer at mine, and she did a good job she never really did that kind of stuff, and she took a chance and she took really nice pictures, but she took too many and it took her, she didn't really edit them. So it was like, it worked, it didn't work. I mean, guys were able to get stuff off of it. I've been to shows where like you walk away and like April always takes video for me because I want my stuff to show video. But like, there's no pictures. I'm like, shit, like it's cool. Even if it's just one picture of you locking out your deadlift or, hitting that log overhead or whatever it is, like you're like, cool. That's my new, Instagram, picture. Right. That's my new Facebook picture.
As a promoter too, it's stupid not to have a photographer because that's free marketing for you and your future shows.
Yep.
Because I have 110 people coming, right? And if we have pictures of all of them, 40 of those guys and girls may make them their profile pictures and they see, oh, they were doing this awesome Hercules at this show. I want to do the next one. Mm-hmm. It's just free promotion for you. So one of my photographers lifts weights, so he gets it. It's my best friend, so I can kind of yell at him and direct him. The other lady, she's awesome. She took our pictures for the Pig Iron Classic and she did a great job. So both of them are going to be tag teaming that throughout the day.
So I'll give you a little thing that I try to do with my show. So I'd imagine you're probably paying for the photographer to be there, and then you're putting a post of pictures for free on your page or whatever. But I always said to the photographers, I'm like, put the water. They always put the watermarks on their pictures. You want to put the watermark on your picture so that way when people share it, at least you're getting credit for like taking the picture. but then offer as a photographer, offer people like, say, if there's a picture you really want, like I can edit it. I always love the pictures when you have the black and white and the color, and
Yeah, sure.
they go through and just add the red from thick in my knee sleeves, and they make and they're pretty cool. So like I always said, you could always tell the photographer, hey, if you want to make a little extra money, like put on her, hey, if you want something edited, something blown up, something like I can do that extra because they don't have time. Like you said, they're going to walk away and have thousands of pictures from your show.
Thousands of pictures. Yeah.
They're going to go through and just pick the ones that are turned out good, and they're going to send them to you. So you're not going to have good edited. So that's always an option that you can always, if there's a picture you really like, to get it cleaned up or edited. So
yeah, it'll be cool. I told him more pictures is better, and then we can kind of choose which ones to post. But I'm just gonna find like a big Dropbox or something basically, and put how like a couple thousand pictures in it, and say, here you go, here's the email to all the competitors, and here's your pictures, and then reach out to these photographers.
Yeah, I would say the best thing to do is break it up either by events is probably the easiest. Like here's the deadlift pictures, here's that way like they can scroll through. You could go by group or something like that. Say, hey, here's the 231 group or something.
Yeah, it just gets tough though. You know how it is. I mean, there's so many.
Yeah.
But you know how it is too, though, as a competitor. If there's a picture of you in there, you're gonna find it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I can just drop them in whatever order, and everyone's gonna find a picture of themselves.
Yeah, they'll find them. So we touched a little bit on the food. That's another thing that I love about your show that other shows don't really like take into consideration. Mm-hmm. You're asking people to come. The competitors, us as competitors, we're going to bring our own food, especially with Katie. We're going to get some food off of Katie to have. Yeah, Simple Nutrition, another one helping you out, which is awesome. She's doing that. I love that idea of offering the food. But as far for the spectators that don't know about that, they show up. They're going to spend 4, 5, 6 hours watching strongman in the heat. Oh. So to have food, like I said, I know you're having, like you said, the Legion's going to have food. Yep. But you're also having potatoes, right? We're gonna bake potatoes.
No, just the Legion. Just the Legion's doing it.
No, you're not doing the sprout stuff now.
No, he's actually competing. He's gonna be going for a huge axle. So he bailed on me last minute.
Oh, see, I was looking. You guys turned me on for the one podcast you had because I was going there before I met you. We was always going to get a potato. I started getting that walk the walk. And that's all I get now. Double steak, and like that's my favorite thing. That's my go-to.
My family restaurant. That's my family. My family owns that. But yeah, we actually
if I mention your name, can I get a discount? Does that like every time I'm in there, I'm spending $40-$50 every time.
I'll see if I can get you sponsored. We'll see. Yeah, Kurt, you're listening right now, so sponsors only here.
Yeah.
But so when I did the food, we actually just sat down last week and did our final menu. I always use the analogy. I think about my Uncle Chuck, like he's at the show. He doesn't care about strongman. He really doesn't at all. He cares about me, the competitor, the person he's there to watch. So I think about the dude that wants to grab a Miller Lite, a piece of pizza, and maybe some potato salad. So like that's pretty much how we kept our menu. What you were alluding to earlier, Kate Gutwald, she owns Simple Nutrition Meals. We've put together like a package and a website. Well, I say she did, and volunteers and competitors can go on the link and they can have meal prepped food fresh for them, ready for the day of the show and the night before the show. So that's a cool option. But like you said, if you're a competitor, you're going to bring your own food. You're going to bring your PB&Js. So our menu, basically, there'll be pizza, there'll be hot dogs, there'll be meatball subs, and there'll be sausage sandwiches, all for pretty dang cheap. There'll be sides like potato salad, macaroni salad, stuff like that, and there'll be chips. And there'll be water, pop, stuff like that, and there'll be beer. So yeah, that's basically what the menu is.
Yeah, I love it. That's true. And so I'm gonna go back to the beginning when you talk about Pittsburgh and the city of bridges and all this bullshit, because I hate Pittsburgh because I'm from there and I can say that. I can say that.
I hate the city. City.
It's so funny when I first started, because I work right by where your gym is, and when I start coming out for work, all these Beaver County people used to talk about Pittsburgh like it was like so far away. Like, I get to the city like once a year. I'm thinking like it's like 30 miles. Yeah, it's like it's just a drive. And it was so weird that they looked at it was different. But then they also claim like obviously you say I'm from Beaver Falls or Monaca to somebody at as Strongman Corp Nationals, they don't know what you're talking. So you're gonna say, I'm from Pittsburgh.
Right.
But like to me, Pittsburgh was Pittsburgh. Like when people from Beaver or Monaca or Penn Hills. I'm like, that's not Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is downtown Pittsburgh. So it's always funny when
It's
people
one of
talk
the worst
about.
cities of all time, I will say.
I agree. I bet
But I
them
mean,
off and off.
I'm a diehard Steelers fan, like diehard. I root for Pittsburgh sports, obviously, because I live 30 minutes out. But like competitors have reached out, hey man, where should I go in Pittsburgh after the show? I'm like, just so you know, we're 40 minutes away from downtown Pittsburgh. Like this isn't Pittsburgh, this is Monaca.
Yeah.
Much
I'm
better.
actually, so it's funny. I don't know if Jake and Ross will listen to this podcast or not, because they're kind of, but so the guys from Thick, they're coming in on Thursday, because I was seeing when they're coming up and stuff. So they're going to meet on Thursday. So we're going to hang out. April's like, oh, we should take them to Pittsburgh. We should take them to like, Permanis, take them somewhere. I'm like, I don't want to fucking go into Pittsburgh. I'd rather go to, I go to Cleveland before I go to Pittsburgh now. I'm like, I was like, if they want to go somewhere, if they've never been there and they want to say, hey, I want to experience Pittsburgh, then by all means, maybe Friday we'll go into Pittsburgh or something. We'll see.
Yeah. I'm trying to see like what, so we talked about a little bit on our podcast, but what would you recommend people if they're going to Pittsburgh after we just shit on it for, I do love Pittsburgh. you couldn't pay me $20 million to live in downtown Pittsburgh.
No.
But there's Permanis everywhere now, but the original Permanis is in Pittsburgh. That's cool. Like if you're going to make a weekend trip of this, because I think right now, I know off the top of my head, we have 6 people flying in.
Okay.
So that's like a full weekend trip. If you're gonna like Permanis is a big one. If you're like a foodie in Pittsburgh, like that's a Pittsburgh thing to go do.
It's like you said, you got to go.
So much cooler than all the other Permanis. Like
because
OG plays.
It's cool because it's just dirty and like
but it's delicious. And it's better. Like they don't serve pizza there. Like serve pizza and like this random shit.
Yeah, like that's in the Strip district. So like you said, if someone's coming from out of town, I would say you got to do the drive down down the Parkway and come through the tunnel to experience, coming out of the tunnel.
The tunnel's opening up and it's if you go from our show to Pittsburgh, you'll experience that. Like it'll just take you that way.
Yeah.
But when you go through the tunnel and you open up in Pittsburgh, it probably is one of the most like beautiful views of all time because you have the entire city in front of you.
Yeah.
Like the bridges, and you have the point. You can see PNC Park and Heinz Field where the Pirates and Steelers play. It is a beautiful. I take it for granted. I actually take it back. I love Pittsburgh.
I still do. It's a nice view, and then I go on that bridge and I make the left because I don't want to go into the city. But for people from out of town,
I just imagine someone from out of town right now. Like say someone's coming from coming from Michigan, and they're trying to exit Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Good luck. Good luck. It's the worst. The traffic signage, but Pittsburgh, there's the point. Like if you go down on the North Shore, there's like a full river walk. You can see Heinz Field, PNC Park, and there's like a point where there's a bunch of fountains. You'll see everyone like kayaking, boating. There's Mount Washington, obviously a big one.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, you could do everything right down here. You could do the North Shore. You could do the point. You could do Mount Washington Station Square, and that's pretty much what Pittsburgh is.
Yeah, Southside's scummy.
Southside's just it's all bars and stuff now. But yeah, like if people come in, I mean, there's some stuff to see, and if they've never seen it and they want to do it, definitely go down and spend Sunday down there, especially if it's nice.
It's called Market Square. There's like fountains down there. They have all the restaurants, everything there too. It's pretty, all the glass buildings, everything. So
yeah.
It is. You just go to the North Shore. You'll make your way around.
That's what I would say. Just go to the point, walk the point, do one of the river walks, go up the incline. It's kind of a neat thing to do. Mount Washington and come back down. So
yeah, there's if you're listening, you're not from around here. The incline's like this huge, like it's basically like our own like roller coaster that goes 1 mile per hour and takes you all the way up onto Mount Washington, and you can see over the whole city. So pretty cool.
Yeah, if you've never done it, yeah. I mean, and I actually took April down there a couple of years ago for her birthday. She wanted to do like Pittsburgh stuff, so we did. Yeah, we did the incline again and went up in Mount Washington. So, but it's funny, like, so I don't know if you've ever heard this, but being I lived in Pittsburgh my whole life until I moved out to Ohio. They always say if they ask you how to get somewhere, they always say you can't get there from here. It's one of the few cities where you can't get there from here. You're like, what do you mean? It's like, well, you have to go around, you have to go through here. Like, there's no just easy. Hey, go down this road 8 miles. Everything is just so. Because of the terrain, when you build a city that old, when you build on the terrain, you're not mapping out. When they mapped that city out, 200 years ago, they didn't think about highways and shit like that. So
it's tough, but I love Pittsburgh, as I love living outside of Pittsburgh, and I love having the luxury of going to Pittsburgh. There's also Rivers Casino right down there if you're a gambling man like myself. Right there in the North Shore too. They got an awesome casino right there. So yeah, that's enough Pittsburgh, I think.
Yeah, we shit on it and build it up up. So the one thing I want to talk about too. So one of the reasons your show is, I feel, is so popular. I mean, you have these people come from out of town, is because you have the invites to nationals, to the Arnold for the open classes, which is such a big thing since you partnered up here with Strongman Corporation. So you want to talk a little bit about how that works for the athletes coming in, or why that's so important?
Yeah, let me actually pull it up so I don't misspeak too, because so Strongman Corp recently this year, this is their first time, and I actually love it. I love the move. Is they changed their weight class a little bit, and it doesn't actually really affect anyone much, but they used to have, you remember, like they used to have subcategories.
Mm-hmm.
And you go to nationals and it's a little confusing because like the 200 guys are their own class, but they're competing with 231, so they're not really their own class. So the weight classes now for men and women for Strongman Corporation moving forward. For women, they have 120, 140, 160, 180, and then 180 plus. Those are the women's classes. And then for men, they have 175, 200, 231, 265, and then super heavy, which I like a lot. So for those 10 classes, like we have novice and masters and everything too, but for those 10 classes, first place in your class gets you an Arnold and a nationals invite. So you don't even need to go to nationals. You can go a straight shot right to the world championships of the Arnold. Second and third place get you nationals. This is the new regional setup for Strongman Corporation. If you have 9 or more competitors in your class, fourth place will get you an invite to nationals. And if there's 12 or more classes or in your class, the top 5 will get an invite. So we have some really big classes. The top 5 guys will go.
And let me pause you for 1 second here.
Yeah.
Think about what you're going to say.
So those, we have some big classes, top 5 in classes that have 12 or more competitors. We have some that have over 20 competitors. So top 5 will get their invite to Arnold's. It's really cool.
At nationals.
To nationals. Sorry.
Yeah.
And the first place will get invited to Arnold's. I really, really like the regional setup now. There's classes that are obscure in Strongman where you don't get a lot of participation. Hey, I go and I train for this show, but I'm the only one that did it. I still get my invite to regionals, so I can go to regionals and then get my Nats invite. It just opens it up for more people to get to nationals, and it makes it a more what's the word I'm looking for? It just allows more athletes to have that opportunity to eventually compete at nationals, which is a lot of people's goals. Some people, myself included, have overlooked that in the past because I've always qualified for nationals. Some people, it's their goal to just get to nationals once, and that's awesome, man. So it allows more people to have the opportunity, bigger shows, stuff like that. I'm thankful for Strongman Corporation trusting me to do a regional show. I think our hard work is going to really show off on June 4th, and I'm really excited to make.
It's crazy because you're so young and you don't know what you're doing and you're new to the sport. It's crazy that somebody would give you that chance.
Yeah, I'm a wiggle dicker.
Yeah, but I've been saying too for the longest time, like I love the idea of like different levels, because like you said, for some people
let me give you credit. I don't like giving you credit. You were the first one to ever, over a year ago, you brought up to me regionals.
Yeah.
So you have been preaching it, because you were the one you told me before Strongman Corp.
And it's one of the things that I've heard from other people too. So I'm not going to take 100% credit, but the thing with that kind of aspect is, like we said, like you have someone like, we both know Evan Singleton. So when Evan first started Strongman, his goal is to win World Strongest Man, and that's a very feasible goal for someone like him. But for someone, let's just stay at 580, and let's say someone like Frawley, what are Frawley's goals? Like, okay, I want to compete. I have a real job. I don't know how serious I'm going to be. Like for him, hey, I just want to go to the Arnold. I just want to compete at the Arnold, maybe. To get there.
Different. Like Riley, my best friend, he's a really good example, because he's been doing Strongman for a couple of years now, about the same time as me. Honestly, like I started probably a year before him, and he's never done an open show.
Yeah.
So like June 4th will probably be his last novice show, and then he'll be able to go to open, and then hopefully one day go to nationals. So and he just likes drinking beer and he likes lifting weights with his friends. Yeah. And that's awesome, because he supports Strongman and he loves it.
Yeah. So like, So with them levels, like just for someone, and I've talked to, I have to mention Jerry all the time, and we all love Jerry.
Yeah, I
But
love
like
it.
now, so he's going to his first nationals for USS next month.
Mhm.
And that's one of his goals. I want to go to nationals. I want to be good at nationals. And for the masters, there's not much to move on. But everybody has an aspect, like whether it's a state show, whether it's regionals, whether it's nationals, then you go to the Arnold, then you go to, international. Like I feel you have to have a reasonable goal that you can reach. Because if you set your goal so high, if you say I want to be for you, I want to be the strongest 80-kilogram guy in the world, that's a pretty lofty goal. Like you're really trying. But if you say, man, I just want to go to a clash, so I want to podium in a clash, so I want to compete at the Arnold. Okay, now you're putting yourself in realistic goals. So I like the way they have this set up now because it's given you, an avenue to like reach your goals. And then once you hit them, I mean, you can always make new ones.
Yeah, right. No,
So
I really like it. Like I said, I'm just thankful that they trusted me to run one of the regional shows. And like I said, I mean, I'm biased, but I think ours is going to be the best out of all the regional shows. I think ours is going to run the best. I just can't imagine a human putting more thought and effort into a show than we have. So
yeah, I'm not going to take anything away from you, but you'd be surprised at how much some people I know put into their shows, and it shows afterwards, and yours going to be right up there with them. I have no doubt
yeah,
that you're taking this responsibility, very 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 serious, and you're going to do a great job with it. So
yeah, I'm excited. We'll see. We're gonna keep running shows for as long as we have a gym, and as long as I'm around, I'm gonna be running shows. So
yeah, I know you're excited to get this one over with, to get a little break from all the questions and emails, but
it's become a full-time job recently.
oh yeah.
So
So you mentioned future shows. So we don't need to drop any bombshells, but me and you were kind of talking about doing something even bigger in the future, which is something I've been talking about for a couple of years that I really want to do, but
yeah.
I've needed someone to partner with me because I don't have the access to the gym, to the weights, to all this stuff. So I really think that
Yeah,
us working together, we could really do something big in the future.
I think so too. We're going to be announcing our next sanctioned show, that it'll be our winter show. We're going to announce it probably in July. So
Okay.
be on the lookout for that. It'll be on December 10th. So clear your calendars. It's only going to be 50 people allowed in. So I hope it'll sell out pretty dang fast. So
I,
December
I
10th.
I am not sure. I do believe that December 10th is Strongman Corp Masters Nationals in Vegas. 9th and 10th.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
So I guess I
For-
yeah, but the nice thing, the reason and I've usually done USS, and OSG and stuff like that.
Mhm.
The reason I'm excited for your show is because Strongman Corp is one of the few that have their standalone Masters Nationals.
Yeah.
It's a standalone show. It's the men and women, and it's 40 over and 50 over. So there's a bunch of classes, but it's still just a Masters show, and it's in Vegas at the same time as the Olympia. So that's one of the main reasons why I'm excited to do your show, because that'll punch my ticket to do Vegas, which is one of the few things that I haven't done.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that should be fun. The one thing we didn't touch on it, and I don't know anything about this because you haven't told me, so I don't know if it's a secret and we don't want to reveal it. What kind of trophies we can get if we win here?
So I picked them up yesterday. I just used the local trophy place called Ohio Valley Awards. They've never done a lifting competition like this before, so it's definitely a learning thing. But I'm really excited. Local couple, and they've done it for a long time. First place will get a big plaque, and then the second place and third place are silver and bronze medals. They came out really nice. They're not cheap medals. They're nice, but I really like the way I wanted these big trophies, but then I just like to talk stuff into existence and just hope it works out. But when you go to try to make a trophy with a big bridge on it, it's not as feasible as you think.
Yeah.
So we just did Battle of the Bridge big plaques, but they came out awesome. So
Cool.
everyone that gets first place will get a big Battle of the Bridge plaque, and then we have medals for second and third. So
Yeah,
they came out awesome.
I think that's a big thing. And I've talked about this before on my podcast and other podcasts that I've been on, that we compete for fun and we compete to get our invites, but like sometimes too, it's the trophy. Some people don't care. They just put them wherever. But for some people, like they really want to display their trophy. So I always think that it's really neat. And I don't want to badmouth anybody that's giving away shit trophies, but put some thought, put something into it.
Plaques. I don't know. I like them. You can hang them up. Paul Mauser always was a plaque guy for a while. So I really like the plaques that I've won at his shows. I really like. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice display. Like I have my little trophy thing downstairs, so a plaque will go nice against my other plaques. So
There's some I will say, like, without, I don't really want to say what the athletes are going to get. It's nothing extravagant, but it's a little athlete check-in bag. And there's every athlete will get their guest badge when they check in. So even if you come in last, you didn't get anything else, but you had a great time, it's a keepsake. Because if it's your first ever regional show and your goal is, nationals eventually, you'll be able to keep that regional guest check-in badge, your athlete badge from the first ever regional show you did.
yeah,
So,
that's another thing.
yeah.
I love that too. Like those are, I have 3 badges from OSG, and even though I never podiumed at OSG, made the finals one year, those are still some of my favorite things, because just to go to that level of show, just like, hey, here's something from that show that I've gotten something from every show I've done, because whether it be just a badge from nationals or I usually podium, so I always have something. But
Yeah.
it's
throw it away, it's all right. But if the one person wants to keep it and they like it and they keep it for a long time, then that's all that matters.
yeah, it's definitely cool when the promoters put a little bit of thought, and it's nice when, and most times the promoters are athletes themselves, so what it's like and what the stuff means to you. And some people might not mean nothing. They may say, oh wow, a $3 little medal, but for some people, like, shit, like, I worked hard, I earned this is my first medal, like, I'm gonna hang this up and keep this shit. So
dude, if you give me a freaking brown paper bag that says, third place at nationals on it, that's going to mean something to me. Like, it's nice to your hard work to have something to show for it, honestly.
Yeah.
So that's what it comes down to.
So you mentioned about like trophies and what it costs. So I'm gonna share a story with you, because I know you do fantasy football, even though you don't believe that I invented Dynasty League in football. But when I started that Dynasty League, I used a trophy company in Beaver Falls, and I can't remember the guy's name. He had passed away, and his wife was still doing it for a while, so I don't think they do it no more.
Yeah.
But I envisioned like the Stanley Cup. I wanted a big trophy, and we're going to have this trophy because it was a railroad league. It was all railroaders. We had 12-team league. So I went and I had this trophy. And the first year, I took all the entry fee and put it towards the trophy. So I went and probably spent upwards of $1,000 for a trophy. The thing's probably 5 foot tall, and then it has enough plaques on it for like 40 names. Like, we didn't need that many, but it has like a big wooden base, a smaller wooden base, and it builds up. And literally, the thing's 4 foot tall. It probably weighs 20 pounds. It's funny. The first year we did that, I won. So I got the trophy with my name engraved on it.
What show was this for?
No, this was for fantasy football.
Oh, this is for fantasy football.
Yeah, this is for fantasy football.
I said, man, you're a douche doing your own shows.
No. It was fantasy football. But like, so every year, like, so I had the trophy for a year. So the next year when someone else got it, my name got moved down. Their name got put front and center, and they kept it. But yeah, so it was a local company, and people still see that trophy. They're like, fuck, that trophy, it was just awesome. It's still getting passed. It's been almost probably 15 years.
That's cool. We're in our 11th year of our league, and I'm historically the worst fantasy football player probably in the world. For someone that actually cares about it, I'm historically bad.
Well, you know what the problem is? My guess is you probably draft from the heart, so you probably draft Steelers or players.
I don't even do that. I'm just horrible. Whatever I do, I'm just horrible.
Well, you talk to CJ Krause. He like lives off his fantasy. I'm sure CJ would give you some advice.
Yeah, I know, but there's just something about doing it on your own, like you stop and you want to draft. But so whoever loses our league every year has to sing the national anthem at the draft and buy the whole draft pizza. That's been our thing for 10 going on 11 years.
And how many times have you done it?
This will be my third this year. I came in last place again. But what's funny is this year I'm getting married the day before our fantasy football, or the day after our fantasy football draft. So our draft's on Saturday, the day like of my rehearsal and everything. That night, me and all my friends have a cabin together, and so I have to sing the national anthem and buy food for everyone at my own wedding. So kind of humiliating, but yeah.
Well, do better. You just gotta do better. That's all.
I'm trying. I'm horrible at it.
But that idea though, like with that trophy, is something that I think would be kind of cool too. Because I did like at my show, I did like a best lifter, and it wasn't like who had the highest total or whatever. It was just like the person that exemplified what the sport should be. So if this is something you consider to do, like it's something cool to have something like that, and every year like have it, have a plaque at your gym with whoever, and then people can come in and say, oh look, the past winners, or just when you have a gym, it's something that you can do that people see their name on there,
Right. Yeah, I actually thought about that idea too. It's a really cool idea.
Yeah,
it sucks. Like people think from the outside view that if you run a strongman competition, you make money, and I promise you, you don't make money off of it. So sometimes, like when you get into the nitty gritty, some things got to go. You know, like
See, I tell you what, that's where I don't understand, because I don't want to say I made a lot of money off my show. I made a couple dollars. I come out ahead on my show, and I had to legitimately buy stuff for my show because I didn't have access to a lot of the shit. I don't see why promoters lose money. You need more sponsors. Like if you take the entry fee from the athlete and the stuff which should be enough to cover a lot of the fees.
What do you think about our show? We had to buy 22 Cerberus brand new bags and then sand. So right there, you're about $1,500 before the sand. And then I have 2 Hercules holds that are personally fabbed up for the show.
Yeah.
3 yokes, 4 brand new axles, all the 195 t-shirts, all like, so we have 60 trophies. It just adds up quick.
Oh yeah.
But
when you look at those, so this is your first big show, but now you have that stuff. So
yeah.
not saying Hercules hold should be in every show you do just to get your money out of it.
Yeah.
But the sandbags are going to get used. The stuff's going to get used. So like at the end of the day, you put that money out, but you also still have it. So obviously, when you're buying this stuff, because a lot of guys will sell stuff at, like they'll sell sandbags. Hey, partially used sandbags, just try to recoup some of your money because your gym doesn't need 75 sandbags.
Right.
You know, so you could always say, hey, anybody wants to buy sandbags after the show, we're going to sell them at a discounted rate or whatever, just to kind of recoup some of your money. So it's something a lot of guys end up doing, especially like with stones.
I'm probably going to keep every single new Cerberus sandbag just so we have 2 of every single one.
Yeah.
And we can do 2 lanes for every event in the future.
Yeah.
So, but it's an investment for sure, because now I'll have all this stuff. But I still always am going to be the guy that wants to buy the new latest and greatest for strongman. So
yeah,
I'm never going to make money.
Well, to me, I love the fact that you have the custom frames and the custom Hercules hold.
That's another thing. I gotta pay all that money for another custom bridge frame. I'm picking it up tomorrow. I just reminded me of another cost I have.
Yeah,
so I have to buy another bridge frame tomorrow.
But that kind of stuff, that stuff is neat to have, because like to me, that's the personalized stuff that says a show. You're doing a show, it's Battle of the Bridge. Like we talked about, like a Pittsburgh Strongest Man, you have to have like Pittsburgh themed stuff.
Yeah.
So you pay the custom fabrication and the people use it in the pictures, and then you always have that. So like maybe 2 or 3 shows down the line, you bring back the Hercules hold again.
Yeah, right, for sure.
So you just rotate that stuff in and out. So it's not a cost that's totally lost. I
mean, especially for me as a gym owner, like all our equipment, like basically, if you're a 580 barbell member, you should want me to keep running shows because you just reap all the benefits. Show, you just get new stuff. So
yeah,
it's awesome.
I mean, it's every gym. Other gyms I trained, like a BSS with Sean, like he went and bought an inch dumbbell because he had it in the show. So now his gym has an inch dumbbell.
Yeah, that's like me for nationals last year. They announced that new wheelbarrow brand, and I went and we bought a Gorilla Strength wheelbarrow. So now we have a Gorilla Strength wheelbarrow that just sits there.
Yeah. So I'm going to give you a little bit of advice here. For a show and for your wedding coming up. So when we had our wedding, we've been married now, quite a few years. We were talking about putting money where, like, and you can equate this to a strongman show, like where should you put the money into? To me, like for a wedding, food and music, that stuff goes away. Like for us, I was like a good photographer, stuff that you have like memories afterwards. So the strongman show is kind of the same thing. Like, you put the money where, like I said, have a good photographer, have good stuff. The little stuff that gets forgotten about shortly after, it might be an issue day of, like, oh, this is kind of bullshit. I didn't have an extra bathroom to use, or I had to go upstairs.
Yeah, sure.
That shit goes away, but it's the memories you make afterwards. So it's the trophies, it's the photos you're gonna get with the cool equipment. Like Hercules Hold is one of my favorite events, and I've done it twice at a show, and it's been on Paul Mauser's setup, which is his is a great setup for a gym for training. But it doesn't translate as well in the pictures because it's just basically barbells. It doesn't look like as nice as yours does. So when you have pictures with a really cool, implement, like that's something you're gonna use forever. So as a promoter, I feel it's okay to spend a little bit of money on cool stuff like that, because even though it may not mean as much to you down the road, someone's gonna always remember doing that event or having that picture.
That's why I actually chose the Hercules Hold, because we'll now have the Hercules Hold to use for good. But it's just a way funner grip event. Like, you just, everyone does a frame hold or a farmer's hold now because it's just easy.
It's easy.
And like, so I just don't want my shows to come across as like he did what was easy,
Yeah.
you know,
I mean,
smart
it's
maybe, but not easy. I never want to take the easy way.
well, it's one of those classic events that we've seen on, World's Strongest Man and the shows and Giants Live with the big
Yeah.
pillars. And I mean, Hercules holding the pillars.
Yeah.
So it's just one.
Do you follow World's Strongest Nerd on Instagram?
I think so.
If
Since
you're
since
listening,
since my IG,
Jason Teitelbaum.
I probably have to
He,
go back. Since my IG got hacked, I lost all my followers.
Oh,
So
yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm trying to get them back. So
But yeah, if anyone's listening, they're into you kind of live up here in the Northeast. He lives probably like 5 hours away from me, but his Instagram name is World's Strongest Nerd. He's a competitor. And he makes awesome stuff. He made a Hercules hold. He's making me some circus dumbbells now. So yeah, there's so many awesome people like that in strongman to follow. And I'm sure if you're somewhere else in America, there's a guy that can make you strongman stuff like him. So
yeah, that's to me, that's some of the coolest stuff because
he made a Hercules hold though. That was a long way of me saying that.
I just went back and started following him again. I was following him before because you had posted stuff and I do that. But he had not popped up for me to refollow. But yeah, I just think that's a cool part of the show, especially when you're having it in a location, something themed to your show, themed to the area, themed to your brand, your gym. So we didn't
even talk about the events, I guess, but yeah, Hercules hold, and you'll be going head to head against another competitor in every event. So after every single event, your order gets you get reordered based on reverse order of placing.
Yeah.
So like the reason I want to do that is I would kick myself in the ass. Like for super heavyweights, their last event is Hercules hold of the day. So say I have a first and second place guy, fighting for an Arnold invite, and instead I got the 7th and 14th place guy going as the last event of the day. I want that first and second place guy going head to head, duking out for an Arnold invite. Like that's what I want all day. I think it drives competition. So
yeah, I know some shows they just do reverse order of sign up, but usually they try to reseat at least for the last show, the last event for that reason. I know like Nationals a lot of times does that. They'll run through and then because just like you said, if the guy winning has to go first, well then the other guys, it's much easier to know going up being last, whether it's head to head, which I think is odd, especially if you have the Hercules hold face to face where you're staring across on the person. And you're staring, because to me, that's an event. And I tell my guys, it's mind over matter. So the weight, although I guess I haven't tested it yet. And my grip's good. So I'm not worried about that event at all. I guess it's pretty heavy. Guys aren't holding real long, but it's not heavy that you can't hold it. So you can hold it. So how long can you squeeze? And if it's me versus you, I'm not letting go until you let go. So if we're looking at each other, we're 10 feet apart, face to face. I mean, I just think that's a cool way to end the show on that.
Yeah, so if you look at Iron Podium at the weights don't come across as heavy.
Yeah.
But just with the leverages of this Hercules hold, I really think 30 seconds will win almost any class, open class for sure.
I accept that. I accept that challenge because I've always gone for a minute. So yeah,
there won't be anyone with a minute in open. I don't think. If they do, they're like the Mark Felix of Battle of the Bridge. So I'll respect to them. But yeah, I think like a lot of the good super heavyweights I'm seeing with this one, like 15 seconds. So it's pretty heavy their weight. But
yeah, that's the thing, because Connor kept asking me about what's the weight. I'm like, dude, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
So many events in strongman, a sled pull, a tractor, a bus pull, a Hercules hold. It doesn't matter because it's a car deadlift. It doesn't matter what kind of car it is because it's all leverages, it's all angles.
Dude, if you have a sled drag that's 200 pounds at your upcoming show, right? And you practice it at 580, and you only load it to 200, only use it, and then you go to the show and it's on gravel, and you were doing it on the turf at 580, it's not even near the same weight, even if you have the same weight loaded.
Yeah, that's what I try to tell people. Just train.
Every Hercules hold is built differently.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could literally, like, I'm not a welder, but like you could weld on the angle at the bottom could be welded at a 27-degree angle versus a 20. And that's all it takes.
Yeah.
Like if you have access to a Hercules hold, just train Hercules hold. Just get better grip a little bit, and that's all you need.
I got to get down there one day. With every time I'm in the gym, there's nobody there, and
Yeah, it's so hard to. You can't set it up on your own.
no, you can't because it's so.
You need 4 people.
Yeah, because I've tried. I did it. I did it the last time. I walked it up and I held it, but like you said, usually sometimes you can grab one, walk over, grab the other one, and just the way yours is set up, you're like, I can't. So you, like you said, you need at least a person on each side to help you get set for it. So
yeah, and I will say the handles, they're really skinny rolling handles.
mm-hmm.
And they're so skinny that it actually makes it harder than like a fat handle because they're so small. They just want to immediately roll to your fingers.
Yeah.
And it's just, they're super like lubed up and like they have a ton of spin to them.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a tough event. I guarantee you, when I remember to come out to me at like 3:15.
Okay.
And ask me how bad I got bitched out by people on the Hercules hole. Because I guarantee people are going to be mad about it.
Yeah.
I had someone reach out to me and listen, they said, hey man, you made the Hercules hold weight too light. And this is someone not from around here. I'm like, that's weird. I wonder how they know. And I said, oh, really? Why? And he said, oh, well, I just did 1:30 with more weight than that on the cable crossover. And I replied, I said, oh man, you should do pretty good then.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to give you advice. So this is the one thing that you learned is stuff's always changing in strongman. And I know talking to Tyler told me what he was getting and what some of the guys are getting. And it's okay to drop the weight because, like, from being a competitor, if all the times, and this is why I hate like a light yoke or light farmers, when all the times are like 8-9 seconds, it comes down to the stopwatch or comes down to
human error.
So I hate when it comes down to like, wow, 4 people were like 8.1, 8.7. And you're like, well, how good was that guy on the watch? So if the Hercules, if you're looking at 30 seconds, should be like Mark Felix. I'm not telling you how to run your show, but maybe like, bump the weight down a little bit because you don't want to piss people off. You don't want it to be you don't want guys holding for 2 minutes because that's kind of happened with pig iron with your farmers holding.
I think we'll be fine. But the nice thing is we have 3 stopwatches at every station.
Okay.
So human error kind of gets a little bit more mitigated in that situation because you're able to take the 3 averages of the time versus just one person.
Yeah.
So the chances of all 3 people being wrong on this guy versus the other one, that's kind of how we limited it.
Yeah.
I think people will do good. Like I think there'll be people with 30+ second holds. I think a minute will be Mark Felix level on this one.
Okay.
And novice, we made it light enough. Allie's an open lightweight women. She just did. She doesn't want me to say her times.
Okay. Yeah.
She did pretty good.
Okay.
So I think we're where we need to be for it. But
okay.
yeah, no, you're 100% right, man. When you see something on like a really light yoke, and you see 7.3, 7.4, 7.5, and you're the 7.5 guy, you always have that thought in your head, like, oh,
yeah,
man,
because the one thing you don't want to happen, and this happens all the time. You don't want me to lose the Hercules hold. And next thing you know, April's coming over with the video. She's like, watch this. No, like, look,
right,
you said he had 9 seconds and I had him here in 10 seconds. And that 10 seconds, that 1 second. So, the more human error you can take out of him, people are always going to bitch. But
sure. We also, that's why for our yoke event, because our yoke's only 50 foot.
Yeah.
But it's still pretty heavy. Like it's a pretty relatively for people like, for an average strongman person, it's a heavy yoke. But there'll be some people that'll be sub 10s for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason there's a starting line and you start 5 feet behind the yoke and then the judge says, go, you run up to the yoke and get under it. So that allows for that variance of time.
Yeah. I hated that at first. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I've never even seen this before. It's bullshit. But now
you don't like to move at all.
I moved fairly well for a big. Well,
no,
I did before today. I guess I did, but we'll see what happens. Right. But as I was training, I like that because now some people they're on the yoke and they really wiggle in and they get it in there. Well, if you want to do that, now so now it's like, okay, do you just go pick it if you pick it and go? But now if you pick it fast, you might lose it halfway. So now it just adds that part of training, which is what I've been doing is just train the start. Get under, just go 10 feet. Get under, just get,
I like awarding the athleticism mixed with strength and strongman.
Yeah.
I think that gets missed sometimes in shows where shows are too static. And like, yeah, it's a hard show, it's a hard event moving already, but add that little extra element to get under it so you can adapt and get under it fast.
Yeah. Now that I start training, I like it. I think it adds a little different. I mean, heavy yoke is always fun. Like I did at the first year OSG, we did 1,000 pound. We did them
Right.
arches, which was awesome. When I actually got to do the Giants live like arches, but they were 1,000 pounds.
yeah.
And you can see you could see your soul leaving as like you take each step. And it was just waddling, and it come down to basically just how far did you get it, because not a lot of guys finished it. So
I always feel bad. Like, I don't want to make my yoke too heavy at the show, because then it's a lot. I look at it as a promoter too, like so much reset time.
Mhm.
And I do got to touch on it real quick. Like, shout out to the volunteers that are helping, because we have 39 people signed up to volunteer for the day of the show.
Yeah, that's awesome.
People like that. I talked about it this week on our podcast. I'll say it again. If you have any problem at the show, and I'll say it on my podcast again this week, come find me at the show, because I don't want you yelling at a scribe or a judge. They're giving away their entire Saturday to come help it so we can do a silly strongman show. And I know it's important to us. It really is. I get that. I'm a competitor. I get it. But in the grand scheme of life, it's not that important. So come yell at me, because I get it. Human error happens, but I'll take the ass chewing the day off. Like,
yeah, that's so. I'm going to assume you're just going to be floating all day, probably, right? Like you're not a judge.
I'm going to reap the hard work, hopefully, and run around like a chicken with the head cut off, kiss babies, and
that's something that I did when I ran my show that you come to. But that was what I wanted to do. Like I have everybody else. I had some very good people there helping run the show, and then. Yeah, I was there for logistics, and I was there for this. And then when the show's going good, like you said, hey, I was pumping the crowd up. I was talking to people, checking on people that hurt. They were off to the side. Hey, you okay? Do you need something? So that's what goes a long way as a promoter. If you're the promoter and you're running the show, and your mom's doing the score and you're the main judge, there's no one to talk to, because they can't come talk to you because you're busy. You're like, I'm busy. I can't check something right now. So the way you're doing it is the proper way to do it.
Yeah. That was a problem when we had the Arnold bids for the show. Everyone from our gym now wanted to do the show instead of helping. So I lost a lot of help with that. But man, the strongman community in this area is insane. We ended up having, I think after we cleared the wait list, this is crazy. Never would have thought. Our first sanctioned show, we had 143 people sign up.
Yeah, that's nuts.
So I mean, that's insane. So, and the volunteers, just thank you guys so much. It's awesome.
Yeah, and a lot of times too, the volunteers aren't necessarily. I mean, you're gonna have some gym goers that aren't competing, but like you said, it's just family, it's friends, it's people that just want to see you succeed, want to see the gym succeed.
And it's not me not wanting to do anything the day of, because trust me, I'll probably be the busiest guy there.
Oh yeah, you will be. Yeah.
But I think it's on the promoter to set the volunteers and judges up for success.
Mm-hmm.
So I already have all their paperwork printed out. I already have their exact lane assignments. I have their group, everything. So like, it's just hand them a paper, and then it's like, okay, I can just go shut the brain off now and go judge the event. I don't have to really worry.
Yeah.
So
it's funny.
There's 39 people signed up to come volunteer. I'll probably have 30.
Yeah, you'll lose a few, but yeah, it's when I went to go volunteer a class, like we all had our assignments, and then something got bobbled up a little bit, and it was like, well, whose fault? Like it was like, well, we all had our assignments, so it's just that's the way to do it. So like this is all your stopwatch, your reps, your scribe. So after they write the paper down, you take it to the scoring table. So,
we have a guy running Iron Podium. One of my buddies. He's an accountant, so I figured he's a good numbers guy for the day.
Dude, how awesome is Iron Podium though? That gives you the free live scoring like that. I mean, it's been good from the beginning when they launched that. Like I'm like, okay, let's see how this works. And as long as you have somebody there putting the times in, as soon as they hit enter, boom, they're up on your phone, so you can look instantly and see how you're going.
Iron Podium, I don't think gets enough credit for how awesome it is. Like as a promoter, it makes my life. I can literally go on my Iron Podium right now and just export, and I have an Excel sheet with everyone's name, email, shirt size, day they signed up, everything right there for me. Like it's amazing. So, and everything will be live scoring, because we have to keep it up to date, and so we readjust our order for the next event. So yeah, and I'm there's a big projector upstairs in the banquet hall. I'm trying to work on getting it so the Iron Podium will reflect on there, so you can go up and see your like where you're at if you have any questions. I mean, you'll be able to tell by the order you're going in, but
I
like to see it.
Yeah, I know when I did my show, like Iron Podium wasn't really big, so I had.
It wasn't yet.
No, I think it was just like it's infancy, and it wasn't something we could use. So we actually had like the poster boards, and we had the names of Velcro. So we moved the names up and down and had dry erase boards, so you could just walk up. And it was funny though, because April was a scorer, and she actually set herself up in that little picnic pavilion and barricaded it off so like nobody could get to her because people were coming up with, hey, she's like, don't talk to me, like go talk to Darren. Like it was like, go find him.
Yep.
He'll deal with your problem. And she's like, I do this. Like, don't come to me with an issue. You find him. And that's, like I said, that's the way you should be. Your scores should be like totally separate, and the athletes shouldn't have any access to them because they have a job to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I think we covered everything I have on here. Is there anything else you want to add to get people to come to the show here, or what's
No, I really appreciate the platform to come on and speak about the show. I'm really excited for it. Like I said, I mean, I really think it's going to be an awesome show. It's going to be, we're going to run 2 shows a year in Beaver County. So come out, try it, free to come out, come support the vendors, and thank a volunteer when you're there. And that's it, man. If anyone has any questions, they can reach out to me. Just 580 Barbell on Instagram, Facebook, call or text. My number's on the Iron Podium. So yeah.
Cool. Awesome. So you just touched on there, and it's one of the things that I do when I preach, all my guys do is when you're done, like thank your judge, thank your scribe. Especially if you're in the same lane all day long and you've had the same judge, the same scribe, the same spotter, loader, like, take as an athlete, like because the more you do the show, maybe when you're new to the show, you don't realize how much work goes into it. And listening to us talk, people are like, oh, holy shit, there's a lot that goes into it. Like it's all that you said, these people are giving up their whole day, their entire day to help you run a show just because they support you, support what you're trying to do. So definitely, but when you're done, like I said, thank them people for their time, and obviously thank you and all the shit like that too. So
yeah, 100%. You don't need to thank me, but thank the volunteers. But I'm excited. I'm so excited to see everyone that I've been talking to, communicating with. I hope you guys have a good time, and I hope you leave the show with, my goal is you leave the show and you have a good taste in your mouth and you say that went awesome. So that's all I care about.
Yeah, there's not a doubt in my mind that that's going to happen for everybody. The cool thing you're going to experience too from this, because I get a little bit on a locally level, almost everybody that's done my show, I would say I had 20 some people in my show. More than half of them, it was their first show ever. And a bunch of them are still doing shows to this day. Yeah. And I see them at shows and they're progressing. Maybe they're still doing novice shows, but they're getting better in the sport. They're having more fun. And they're like, hey, they still thank me. I have a picture I'm looking at right now. I took a picture of all the athletes today in my show, and it's in my office. And I can go through and I know all them guys on there still, and most of them are still doing strongman. And I feel like I helped them achieve that. So you're going to have that same feeling with some of these people, especially the people you help get to nationals, the Arnold. And then when you go to the Arnold, they're like, dude, like, I got my spot here from your show. Like, I appreciate you for what you did. So
yeah, I'm excited. So any questions, reach out, guys. And I appreciate you all so much.
Awesome. And you touched on all your social media stuff. I'll put links up on I'm going to post this on my podcast and on YouTube. I'll put links to all the 580 stuff and all the information you need.
I forgot to mention the pre-workout, but you can go to 580barbell.com and get horsepower pre-workout right now. We got a sale going on. You can bundle both mixed berry and watermelon, get a little bit of a sale. And I will say, for competitors, the pre-workout will be on sale for everyone, spectators, everyone at the show. So you'll be able to get it at a big discounted rate at the show. So if you guys want to support the pre-workout.
Yeah, it's good too. I don't know how much I like the watermelon so much, and I'm not a big fan of mixed berry, so I may just
stay with watermelon now. I don't want you to.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stay with water, and then the next one I'll try the next flavor and the stuff. And I like your podcast too. You're talking about the stuff in the future, and like definitely look for more shit to come out from that. Are you gonna have how much stuff are you gonna have as far as sell? I know you're gonna have some grip shirts, you said, and obviously the pre-workout. Are you gonna have any other 580 gear that you had made, or is that pretty much pre-order stuff?
That's pretty much it for us, because I don't want to have too many 580 like grip shirts. Yeah, we were gonna sell 5. Oh, we'll have a ton of Battle the Bridge shirts available.
Okay.
Like for spectators, I ordered I think like 50 extra.
Okay.
So just if anyone's there and you think the shirts are cool, the volunteer shirts are like a bright gold with black font, and they came out really cool. So those will be available for $20 at the day of the show as well at the 580 booth. But then I want Hossware to be able to have their booth and Impact. So we'll have that stuff. Our main focus is the pre-workout and the the shirts, and grip shirts will be available at weigh-ins and day of.
Okay, awesome. So I'll have my grip shirt and I'll have my pre-workout. And
Yes,
what color? Please don't tell me black.
For shirts?
Competitors.
No, light gray. You guys are, Strongman's too big and heavy. That's outside.
Okay,
It's
cool.
like it's light gray. I know the sweat's gonna show through, but I can't do black. I can't do a dark color to you guys.
Yeah. So I want to talk just real quick, philosopher. So their thick shirt is their OG shirt that I feel that I was the one that started saying this was a pressing shirt. So I feel like I'm responsible for the thick shirt blow up. But they have you ordered the thick shirt, right? The American flag one.
Man, I'm paying those guys mortgage. I ordered like 4 of them. I ordered for a couple buddies and for my wife. So
I know I'm going to do the black shirt just because I like the American flag with the black, but I'm also going to do the tank top. Because I have so many. I must have 200 black lifting T-shirts now and it's because everybody makes black because it's like
everyone makes black. There's I don't know if you'll be able to see it on.
No,
here.
I can see it. Yeah, but it shows up.
Can you see that? That's what the volunteers will all be wearing day of.
Okay.
So it's only a 2 font. It's really nice. It's a bright gold. I want the volunteers to be able to stand out.
Yeah.
And then the actual competitor shirts are. Will it let me show it?
That one's not showing up for some reason. Oh, there. Well, it was there for a second.
But it's a 3 font. I don't know if it's gonna let me show it.
Yeah,
I'll show you. I'll show you after the episode.
Black. It looked like black and gold font with the
gray black shirt. And gold font with a gray shirt. It came up those, and you always weasel your way into a great sponsorship spot on the back. You got another good one. So
all right.
So
well worth the investment. So
yeah, absolutely. But thank you to all. And also I didn't even mention when we said sponsors. Cerberus did give me a code for all the sandbags and everything, so they helped out with the show too. So that's awesome. Ken has been, like I said, I've been a Cerberus, I guess a Cerberus ambassador. I'm not like a paid sponsored athlete. Yeah.
But I rep the shit out of them because I believe in their stuff, and Ken has backed my show. And I mean, almost any show I've never really seen people ask for stuff from him and him say no. Like he'll do whatever he can.
He's
to
great,
help the show.
That's a guy that wants the strongman to grow flat out.
Yeah, so. And that's what we need, and that's what you are. I mean, you're right up there with these guys, what you want to do. So you're just getting your feet wet, and I can't wait to see what you do in the future.
Yeah, got some big plans, but thank you.
Yeah, so honestly, we're super excited. Battle of the Bridge, June 4th in, I guess, Monaca, Beaver, whatever we want to say, Beaver area.
600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Beaver County, Monaca, Pennsylvania. Come check it out. There'll be a big sign out front. So
yeah, easy to find. Are you blocking the street off right there? Then do you have the street in front of the place or no?
Like our side street, like for the block.
You don't have the main drag there, right?
No, we don't have the main drag just because it's a state road. Okay. But all our parking is on this side of the street, luckily.
Okay.
So, yeah, we'll be good.
Yeah, that'll be nice because I was worried about the two when you moved it up. I'm like, well, shit. Like if you don't get there early enough to get prime parking, but having the spot next door, like I said, it's gonna work out great.
Yeah, we're gonna be good. But so excited to see everyone.
Yeah, really excited for it. Looking forward to competing and doing well, and just having a blast that day. So it's gonna be fun.
Absolutely.
So once again, Josh, thanks for coming on, talking about the show. Hopefully we get a few more people showing up, or I think we talked about a lot of stuff that you didn't really cover on your podcast, just different shit. So
let me just read off the sponsors because I feel bad because I have my sponsor list up. Because actually probably our biggest sponsor for the show, and you guys will see when you get your check-in bags, Grip Mountain Liquid Chalk, sponsor the show. That's a member of the gym, one of my good buddies, Dante, his chalk company. I feel really bad I didn't say that earlier. Obviously, 580 Strongman Corporation. The podcast we're on right now sponsored it, so I didn't even shout that out.
Yeah, well, we're on the podcast.
Yeah. Hossware, Cerberus, Valor Garrett Productions, Simple Nutrition Meals, Impact, and Bovard Anderson, who is a local real estate company. So I know we've gone long. I just want to say thank you to all of them. Wouldn't be possible without the sponsors. So thank you guys.
Yeah, that's such a big thing to the sport. It's awesome to see that some of the local stuff get involved, even though they're not strongman related and stuff like that, because that's what I think for the community, what you're trying to do, that's who you need to get involved. Obviously, you're going to have the lifting gear, the lifting clothing and stuff like that, but getting the local places, the local restaurants, the local, whatever it is, just to be involved and get people into the area and stuff like that. So it's such people coming to Beaver for the first time. I know it's Monaca across the river. But Beaver is such a cool little town.
Yeah.
Just the streets, the restaurants, just the shops. I mean, we go down there all the time. We enjoy the shit out of Beaver. It's just
if you're staying locally, like I told people all the time, and I'm biased. I'm born and raised Beaver. I'm a homer. I'll never leave Beaver. But if you go eat at like Mario's on Main Street, the pizza place, there's a whole strip, and it's like 3 minutes from the gym. So if you don't want to make the full trip to Pittsburgh, Beaver is an awesome town to go gallivanting around.
Yeah, just some of the shops. It's a neat little trendy area. So I really enjoy it down there.
Yep.
So, all right, with that, I think we're gonna wrap it up. We went longer than I thought we would. I knew we'd go
Oh,
over an hour. So,
yeah, no doubt. Thank you,
so
guys.
yep. Thanks for coming on, Josh.